Here's episode 4 of our double take of 10-minute marks today. Once again, I'm Paul.
I am Jeff.
And today, we are going to discuss the Wrestler of the Decade. Now, on Facebook and wherever else, the forums, we asked the fans who their pick should be who their pick is for the Wrestler of the New Millennium.
We got quite a few picks with that. We got Triple H. We got Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 or 4 on the Facebook page that said Kurt Angle. We got
Undertaker.
some people, Undertaker. We got some people who left a list of like a dozen people.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, narrow it down to one.
Yep.
There really wasn't a lot of wrong answers with this. You could go with Jericho. You could go with Edge.
Mm-hmm.
You could go with Shawn. You could go with Triple H, Undertaker, Angle,
Yep.
AJ Styles. But we're going to give you our picks for Wrestler of the Decade, and I'll start with Paul.
All right, well, I'm going to say my honorable mentions before I go with the main guy. One of the guys on the list said Undertaker by far. And I wouldn't say by far, but he'd be like my number 2 or number 3 guy. The only thing that would be holding him back from being my Wrestler of the Decade was he had only a few title reigns to his credit. However, he's had really awesome feuds with Cena, with Lesnar, Undertaker and Kane being one of the big ones to come out of the Attitude Era. Really, that was one of the feuds that kind of saved WWE. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but helped save WWE after Brett left. My other guy, of course, would be Chris Jericho because he's one of my favorites, and he's also had he's had top 5-star matches with like Shawn Michaels, with Chris Benoit, Edge, and he's even had decent matches with Cena. Never thought I'd say that, but he had.
And Ray.
And Rey Mysterio. But however, the number 1 guy I would pick would be Kurt Angle. And the reason being is first of all, you had a legit amateur wrestler who was an NCAA champion and an Olympic gold wrestler on top of that. And then he goes to pro. And even though he's only been in the business for probably 10 years or more, I don't remember the exact number, but bear with me. Mm-hmm. You had a guy who's been in the business less years than someone like Taker or maybe Triple H or Brett, but yet he's had all these titles to him. He's had like 12 or 13 title reigns, counting probably the tag belts, but still, this guy's pretty much held every major title in sports entertainment, in WWE and TNA. Also, he's had really, really awesome matches too, like with Shawn Michaels, with The Rock, with Stone Cold. He was in the main event picture pretty early on too, and actually his very first WrestleMania 2000, he had the Eurocontinental title. And he had that little feud with Bob Backlund, which I really enjoyed. So here you have a guy who hasn't been in the business that long, but he picked it up right away, and partially because of his accomplishments in amateur wrestling. But that would be my opinion. How about you, Jeff? I'm
going to give my honorable mentions as well. Number 3 would be The Undertaker, just for his longevity. Like Paul said, he hasn't had but 4 title reigns in the 2000s, and all of them were pretty short. I remember the one right after WrestleMania 22, if I remember correctly. 22 or 23. It was cut short because of injury. It was only about 2 months long, which were basically his average, about 2 to 3 months. As a matter of fact, if I counted correctly, the one he's holding now is the longest one he's had in this decade.
Yep.
Since October 4th. And it's about 3 months, so it's about the longest one he's had. That's one reason I only put him at number 3. I was originally going to put him at number 1, but I looked and I said, well, 4 title reigns, none of them really over 3 months, and I really don't think I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in countless main events. He's worked a lot of 5-star matches, and he's well respected in the industry. That's one reason I wanted to put him at number 1.
And the streak.
Right, the WrestleMania streak, obviously. Nobody ever has a bad word to say about him in the ring. He's probably the most respected wrestler in the business, in and out of the ring. Number 2 would be Shawn Michaels. Being a Rockers fan I am, I'm going to sound a little biased by that. But, and really the only reason he's not number 1 is because one of the top things you'd have to do in this category is to wrestle throughout the whole decade.
Yeah.
That would be one of my top credentials. And he didn't wrestle through the whole decade. He came in 2003, 2004, started wrestling again full time.
And Jericho had his sabbaticals. They both
Right.
both kind of had that same thing.
Right. But he's had classic feuds, 5-star matches. He's
Mm-hmm.
proved himself as Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think he's earned that nickname. He would be number 2. And I'm going to have to go with Paul on number 1. I'm going to have to go with Kurt Angle. Kurt can wrestle with anyone, do any style of match.
Yeah.
Including gimmick matches. I mean, he's not afraid to put his body on the line.
Mm-hmm.
He had one of the top 10 WrestleMania matches with Chris Benoit.
Oh, yeah.
He's had top matches with Stone Cold, The Rock. I mean, you put him in there with anybody and he'll have a great match.
Oh, yeah.
Even with Marty Jannetty. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that was a really good match.
Nice little 20-minute epic there. And you just put him in the ring with anyone and he can come out with a great match. I think his feud with AJ Styles is going to go down as probably the best feud ever in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
The match he did with Jeff Jarrett a few months ago,
Yeah.
that was just classic. It was WWE, very very WWE style, but that was what made it so great. I remember I was chatting on a board watching that match, and everybody's like, "Well, this is slow and boring," and I'm like, "What are you kidding? This is psychological. This is supposed to start off slow and boring. That's what makes a great match. It's supposed to build up. You don't just start off hitting each other with chairs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just destroys your point. But
make it real, damn it.
Make it real, damn it. That's true. It's damn true. But he, like Paul said, the Eurocontinental title, which I thought was great. First person to hold 2 titles at one time. That was just awesome. And the way he lost it at WrestleMania to Jericho and Benoit.
I was robbed.
I was robbed. He's willing to do anything for the business. I will not hold the fact that he went to TNA against him.
Nope.
I will praise him for that because he's taken TNA on his back and he wants to do something with it.
Really?
And he wasn't thrown in TNA. He wasn't banished there like you used to see in WWE, going to WCW and so forth. That wasn't a choice that wasn't his to make. It was his choice to go to TNA from WWE, and so I give him a lot of credit for that. He had stones to stand up to Vince McMahon and do something.
Yeah, to get out of his contract.
Right, to get out of his contract and go to TNA because he wanted to. Because he felt for his principles that that's what he needed to do.
Yes.
And I give him a lot of credit for that.
He is the modern day Bret Hart, which I love.
So that's the reason I have him at number 1. I think he's an awesome athlete. I think he's a great wrestler. He's the best wrestler in the business to me right now.
Yeah.
So I guess that will wrap up episode number 4. Look for episode number 5 coming in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go over future episodes. Will include our Royal Rumble picks.
Yep.
The future of John Cena. We're going to tease that probably quite a bit, but it's coming in the future. Where does Cena lie in the future of WWE? We're also going to go over WrestleMania picks in the future and so forth and so on. So be sure and check us out in future episodes.
That'll pretty much wrap the day up, and like you said, stay tuned. We're going to have more episodes coming up, and send us your comments, questions, and overall opinions, and maybe we'll post some here.
10-minute marks at yahoo.com, or post comments down there. And look us up on our Facebook. We will have a Facebook fan page coming soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later.